Hey everybody, Kevin Duffy here at MassLive.com, joined by Mark Daniels of the Providence Journal. 27-20, the Pats advanced to their 5th straight AFC Championship, and the team we saw today looked much more like the team we saw in weeks 1 through 10. I thought Julian Edelman was basically his full self from what you could see out there, and obviously it changed the offense. Mark, what did you think?
Right. I mean, getting Julian Edelman with Rob Gronkowski in this offense pretty much changed everything. I mean, I think we saw that in the first series, the first third down, the Patriots encountered Tom Brady when it went to Edelman and it went for a first down, and everyone was like, all right, it's kind of back to normal. And throughout the game, I mean, Edelman came up time and time again. I mean, he had a few drops. I think even after the game, he said he was pretty rusty, and you could see that. I mean, he actually said it kind of felt like the first game of the season for him. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, look at his stat line: 10 catches, 100 yards, and that's after missing 9 weeks. It's pretty crazy, pretty remarkable. It's a great sign for the Patriots going forward.
Yeah, that's what they missed the whole time, was just the ability to just get the ball out quickly over the middle and taking advantage of. Kansas City had relatively tall corners in Sean Smith and Marcus Peters, and Edelman is such a shifty guy. He's just a tough cover for those kind of players. So I thought what we saw today was Brady getting the ball out really quick. There wasn't a time where he was holding it and it looked like the O-line was, letting too much pressure up, because the ball was out before the defense line of Kansas City could even get there. The Pats were a little fortunate. Justin Houston was banged up, only played 8 snaps, I believe, for Kansas City. So they did luck out there. But overall, this was one of the better games they've played in the past 2 months. And I don't think it's any coincidence that it's because Edelman's back. And Gronkowski, I know he had a very sketchy week with his knee and back, but he looked pretty damn good to me.
Right. I mean, 2 touchdowns from Rob Gronkowski. I mean, Kansas City, these NFL teams, they don't learn. I mean, his first touchdown came when he was single covered by a cornerback in the red zone. That should never happen, ever. It did, and he scored another touchdown. It's just, this offense, the final 2 weeks of the season, they look pretty lost. They scored 30 combined points between, their losses to the Jets and Dolphins. They had, I think some people worried, and some other people, such as Kevin Duffy, kept saying they're going to get these guys back and they're going to be pretty good. And you know what? They were.
Man. That's right. I think we point counterpoint last time, and
that's right.
Looks like I was the correct one. Mm-hmm. Every video, we'll do a point counterpoint at the end. We have to, of course, address the injuries, because there are always significant injuries when the Patriots play a football game. Today, we had Jamie Collins leave with a back injury, came back out and kind of had a wrap around his midsection, just sat on the bench, didn't return to the game. Gerard Mayo left with a shoulder injury, and Chandler Jones left late with a knee injury. What do you think? I mean, it's hard. We don't really know the extent of these, but obviously those would be pretty big going forward if they're major injuries.
Yeah, Jamie Collins is the biggest concern for me, because I think he's one of the best players on this defense. And at this point, you're running pretty low in reserves. I mean, when Hightower isn't 100%, he didn't play the entire game, and I think his playing time, the fact that he kind of came in and out of the game, reflected that he's still dealing with that MCL sprain that he suffered back in Denver. Now, when these guys are out of the game, we're looking at Darius Fleming, Jonathan Freeney, who had a dislocated thumb, Dakota Watson kind of. It's not exactly a great group. And then you lose Gerard Mayo, your top backup, to a shoulder injury. It's kind of worrisome. Mm-hmm. Chandler Jones is worrisome because it looked like a non-contact knee injury. That being said, you have Jubal Shear and Rob Ninkovich at your worst-case scenario. So, I mean, they need both of those players, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. The fun never stops here.
Yeah, we'll have to keep tabs on that as the week progresses. So tomorrow now we will watch Pittsburgh and Denver. The Patriots, of course, will never say who they prefer to win, even though I'm sure they do have a preference. Right. What do you think is the better matchup for them?
That's a tough question. Healthy, the better team's Pittsburgh, but that would mean the Patriots are playing at home, and they play really well at home. Defensively, I still don't know how Pittsburgh matches up with the Patriots. I still think the Patriots could put up 30 against that team, but the dangerous thing about them is if Antonio Brown's healthy, Steelers can actually match you, and that's kind of worrisome. Then again, Patriots have had so much trouble in Denver. They lost Week 12 this year. A couple years ago in the AFC Championship, they lost to Peyton Manning out in Denver. So what do I root for? I'm going to be selfish and root for the Steelers to win so we can get a home game, stay here in New England, not have to travel. I think the Patriots would actually rather that, to tell you the truth. I don't think they want to go on the road. I don't think they want to go to Denver.
Yeah, I agree. I think anytime you want to stay at home for not just us, obviously, but the team, you would rather play a home AFC Championship game than have to go on the road. I do think the Pats are clearly the best team in the AFC. I really, Denver won that game. I don't want to say it was a fluke, but a lot of things went wrong for the Pats, and they didn't have Edelman. They did not have Amendola. They had a 21-7 lead when Chris Harper muffed that punt. So I think the Patriots really, I think they should take care of business in Denver if it ends up having to be Denver. Pittsburgh's interesting because Brown probably would be back, and we have no idea what Roethlisberger's status is. I mean, he didn't look like he could really throw at the end of that Cincinnati game, so we'll have to see how he is tomorrow. Obviously, if they lose, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
I do think a Super Bowl trip is. I'm not going to say it's definitely going to happen, but it looks good.
Yeah, it
from my
definitely looks
perspective.
good. It's pretty wild. And Kevin, to come at you with some stats, the Patriots, this are
Bring 'em.
5 straight trips to a conference championship. That is the most all time, tied with the Oakland Raiders, which happened in the 70s. I believe it was 73 to like 77. I actually have it right here. It is 73 to 77. That's
There you go.
incredible dominance by this team, this organization, by Brady and Belichick. Everyone's really lucky.
Agreed. We'll close it with that.